Hello, Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights, Velco Weather Hazards Forecaster. We have incoming snow, and we're looking at the current conditions off across to our west, across portions of New York. These two are going to be joining up, and what we have is a considerable amount of precipitation. This batch here in the form of rain with warmer temperatures, and of course the snow that's going to be the main stay here as we move into as it moves into Vermont. Now temperatures are supporting basically 20s to the west of here. Warmer temperatures, and a little bit of this mixing line looks like it's going to get about into Rutland and Windham and Windsor County, and that's going to move what will be probably a small zone of wet snow loading right up a little bit further to the north for a period of time. This looks to be during the probably midday, early to mid-afternoon portion of the storm during the day on Saturday, but the rest of it looks to be cold enough to be basically snowfall. That's going to be probably greater than 10 to 1 and maybe more like 12, 13, 14, 15 to 1 snow to liquid ratios. That means this is going to be much more of a medium to dry powdery type snowfall for northern Vermont. The area of concern will be about roughly about Rutland, Windsor County, and then the mixing line that'll be affecting parts of Bennington into Windham County. This is valid about 2 o'clock this afternoon. This will be valid at 5 o'clock this evening, Eastern Daylight Time, 5 o'clock this evening. And, of course, we have the lighter snows working on in from the west. And they're going to be falling mostly as virga, but they do shoot across these particular areas. By the way, on the right-hand side, we have the high-resolution rapid refresh model, the HER, and we have the European, which these two are matching up nicely in tandem. Not all modeling continues to match up, though. So you can see it moves in. Basically, this is valid at about 11 o'clock this evening. And then by 2 o'clock in the morning, so roughly startup times, still late evening, 11 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Seems to be matching up well. And you can see that the heavier snows, this slightly darker color here, is going to be working into the southern counties and then start to shift a little bit further to the north as some of that warmer air is going to get pushing further to the north. So we get that mixing line, and this is how it shapes up. Notice it tries to shoot up west of the spine of the Green Mountains, a little bit more holding back with a cold pull, a little bit of a drainage wind kind of deal going on, where we have colder temperatures here to the north. This is going to be all snow. This is where we're going to see a little bit of sleet, a little bit of freezing rain. This is valid at about 15Z or 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. So the heavier snows are really going to be pushed a little bit further to the north when this happens. And so areas roughly, I'm going to say northern Rutland, back into northern Windsor, parts of Orange, Washington, into the Northeast Kingdom. You can see it's mixing now as rain to the south. The HRRR model gives us basically rain with that mixing line. So wet snow loading potential really right here. But it's fairly narrow because we're looking at pretty good snow to liquid ratios where it's going to be above 12 to 1. So that's good news. So it's just going to be a narrow corridor for the most problematic areas where there could be some impacts due to wet snow loading. Pretty hefty snows overall. Let's take a look at that. Again, the state of Vermont, this is the European, this is the HRRR model, and this is just trace amounts of snow here that tries to make it. This is valid about 8 o'clock this evening. So we got 9, 10, 11, so roughly about 11, and then going toward midnight, we start to see this shoot across in the southern counties, and then this works its way north. Now this is a mesoscale banding. You can see this is hourly snowfall for both the HRRR as well as the European. And what you can see here is these bands match up very nicely moving into south central Vermont. This is really going to be unloading. This is valid by this time here. We're looking at about 5 in the morning. That would be 5 in the morning. And then that's 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10, 11 in the morning. And you can see that some pretty good snowfall rates here anywhere across north central Vermont, southern Vermont, still over 1 inch amounts per hour, almost 1 to 2 inches, 1.4 for example at the Barry Montpelier EF Knapp, and 1.2 at Morrisville, 1.3 at Lyndonville, 1.2 at St. Johnsbury, so on and so forth. So you can see that what ends up happening is the HRRR model ends up following the European pretty well. But interestingly, this is where rain begins to mix in. And of course, that rain mixing line is where the wettest snow is going to be. So it's coming down pretty hot and heavy. This is valid about 17Z. That'd be 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see it really does pick up. 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. And then finally by 8 o'clock, we're starting to see things wind on down. And look at the HRRR. I would take this more with more accuracy than this. This is just a shorter range model. That far out is probably not as accurate. Then the whole system begins to push away. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.